I hate Thanksgiving food.
Why?
I hate it. I like apple pie. I like pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Do those count as Thanksgiving foods?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's probably the extent of the Thanksgiving food I like.
So you don't like turkey or
Turkey,
mash?
I have very strong feelings on turkey. Turkey is a watered down chicken that we have been brainwashed to think is great. Now, there are exceptions. Thanksgiving turkey, though, absolutely sucks. Like turkey sandwiches, great. Love them. Definitely recommend turkey and bacon. That's great on a sandwich. But if it's just like, hey, here's this turkey, carve it up. Here you go, bud. Slap some gravy on it. Like,
I used to share similar feelings to you about turkey until my grandpa started deep frying the turkeys.
Oh,
turkey? I don't know how to pluralize that, but
probably turkeys.
He started deep frying them, and my biggest gripe with turkey was it's so dry.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you just have to like lather gravy on it or something on it to give it some kind of wetness. But the deep fryer like really makes it wet.
Okay. Well, I need some of your turkey, man, because I don't know if it's every turkey that I've, had was not great or what, but.
Well, I'm usually at Thanksgiving and I'm there for the ham.
I like ham. Ham's cool.
Okay. Then how do you feel about mashed potatoes?
I like them. It's like some mashed potatoes are just mid, and then other ones are really top tier. Jenny's family has good mashed potatoes. My family, pretty good, but still, like, I don't know. If you just said, hey, here's sesame chicken, here's mashed potatoes. There's no contest. I'm gonna go eat sesame chicken. And why would I eat mashed potatoes when I can have sesame chicken?
Yeah, but it's like here's a pepperoni pizza or here's a Thanksgiving meal. Two different things. Okay, my favorites at Thanksgiving meals are cheese or like cheesy rice and broccoli. I like green bean casserole. And
that's no for me, dog.
There's a lot of cheese at my Thanksgivings. I also love sweet potato pie or casserole or whatever it is with all the sweet potatoes in the thing, and then you have like marshmallows on top. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I like Thanksgiving food. So how do you feel about Christmas food?
Oh, I hate Christmas. I hate Christmas the most.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. We'll cover that in a month. I enjoy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is probably one of my favorite holidays.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll shut up then.
Because it's literally just about food and that's it. And then like food and conversation and just like being with people. And that sounds like all things you hate. So this is why I like it. And I don't like Christmas because it's all the cool parts of Thanksgiving with all the worst parts about Christmas, which is the gifts and the obligation. But
we're not talking about that though. We're
no
just for the first half.
Today, what we are talking about is what we're thankful for in our awesome. Business or in just the marketing world. Now, before you guys just tune out, we want to make this so it's actually a little bit valuable to you, but also kind of on theme with Thanksgiving. So we've pulled some topics out of our ass. That we are thankful for, and if you're not engaging in them or if you haven't thought of them, then give them a shot, and hopefully next year you'll be thankful for them as well. So I'll kick it off. The first one I'm thankful for is having a partner.
Oh, well, that's now I feel really bad for crapping on your Thanksgiving.
Well, Lauren is just great to me. I'm just kidding. I mean, a business partner. I am thankful for you because I lack a lot in areas where I should be picking up some slack. But it's been really helpful because I've been able to focus on my personal life, been able to grow my other career, and engage in some of the things that I like to do, like travel and play paintball competitively, while you can take the reins on things when I'm gone.
And vice
Yeah, in reverse. So like when you're sick or when you're traveling, like when you went to Hawaii this year, you know, I was able to hold down the fort. But also the fact that we're totally different from each other. So I like earlier, I enjoy being in and around people in generally. People I choose. Most people I hate. But I handle all the client calls, the acquisition, kind of the account management work. And what I really hate is execution. So like I actually hate doing things, like especially having to learn things like I'm not familiar with just for the sake of, you know, making money. But Cody just tackles that. Like you handle all the back end dev stuff. You learn how to become a developer without knowing how to become a developer. And do all of our books, which I'm super thankful for because I did it before you came aboard, and that was awful.
Well, yeah, then the inverse is when I have to have more than one call a day in which I'm obligated to talk to somebody that's not that's client related, current client, prospective client. And for some reason, if it's just internal calls or like vendors isn't the word, but just business partnerships where it's not a client relationship, it's like a service provider or something like that, it doesn't drain me. But the second that you're like, Cody, I need you on this call, I'm like, okay, here we go.
Anytime.
But I know you minimize that as much as possible for me, and I really appreciate that because it takes my battery. I'm like a cell phone, and I go from like 80% to 20% in half an hour.
Anytime there's something technical involved, I'm like, Cody, you're gonna be on the call. Like anything ads related, it's all you. Although I can make my way around it. Like I can do a decent job at talking about that stuff superficially, but then what I'm not 100% confident is just asking or answering specific questions that I'm not prepared for. And if you know me, I don't prepare very much for anything. I'm very like fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy.
That's endearing though. So, you know, people like it.
Yeah. And then you're the opposite, right? We can't do anything unless there's a plan.
Yep. I like plans.
What are you thankful for?
Top of my list was good minions. And by minions, I hope people now understand at this point that we call our employees minions because they want to be called it. Every time that's a disclaimer. They chose, they wanted to be this. But yeah, I mean, man, when they're good, they make life easy and it's awesome. And it feels great knowing that you can bank on them to complete certain tasks, know that they're driven and motivated to learn more. And it's just awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one thing that you can't really be thankful for until, you know, you've had bad coworkers or bad employees or.
That's true.
Because then you start you kind of take that for granted and you're just kind of like, a worker is a worker. Well, wait until that worker is not a good worker and, or, you know, whoever you work with isn't a good employee. And then, you know, when you actually do land someone that's good, or you do land a good partner, or do land a good, you know, whatever, and the relationship is great and the work gets done, it's night and day. It's like, holy crap, I didn't even know we were capable of this.
Yeah. It's a slippery slope, I think, when I think we were worried about this for a little while. When so we had ideas of like the kind of business that we wanted to run and how it would be different from the ones that we'd been in and experienced and how it would be nicer to employees. And then you realize when you start getting employees like, there's a reason why some bosses are hard asses. It's because their employees need them to be hard asses in order to get the work done. And then it becomes this slippery slope of how much do I micromanage? How much do I have to stay on top of them versus just trusting them themselves? And I think you eventually come to this point of like, you know, this middle ground, getting more discipline, getting more on top of things, but also then just saying, no, hey, I expect this much out of you. And if you're not capable of doing that, then this isn't a good fit. And then once you start finding people who understand that and are on the same page, and uh, yeah, when you do that, man, thankful every day.
Yeah, I when you but the thing is, when you have really good employees, the only thing you really worry about then is like losing them. And
Yep.
you're just like, how can we not lose you? I will fly to Colombia.
Like, what do you want? What I can give, like, I can give you almost anything except for more money right now, because it's like, that's always the thing, right? It's like, well, depending, especially with the startup vibe, when you're like, look, there isn't more money. Like, that's so, well, yeah. How can we make you more happy? And I mean, yeah, sometimes I guess there's that ultimate thing of, if money's the ultimate deciding factor, then, but we're talking about what we're thankful for, and I don't want to think about that. So what's the next thing you got, Jake?
I'm gonna throw out remote work. I'm really happy and thankful for we live in a time where we can work from anywhere. And to that effect, I'm thankful for the idea that we're not hung up on like vanity. So we don't care about having the office with people in it and being able to take social media pictures every day and post them on there. And, just brag to people that we have an office and a location. I think I'm thankful for our positioning on how we are a very profit oriented company rather than a revenue and size oriented company. But in addition to that, again, just the ability and control that we have over our schedule and our location. I mean, I can move anywhere in the world and continue working on our operation like I have. Well, if you consider the Midwest anywhere in the world. But I remember taking like meetings with you guys at 5 a.m. in Alaska.
Yep.
Because I was taking a vacation. I took a vacation in Alaska with Lauren, and we had our weekly team meeting on I think this was Fridays when we did this. But then I just went out to the hotel hallway and jumped on a meeting. Of course, Alaska's like 4-hour difference from the Midwest, so
yeah, but it's not to be discounted. I mean, the U.S. has lots of freedom of mobility between states and whatnot too, but you still have states, and you register your business in a state. So if we wanted to move our business, it actually is not that hard. I mean, we have to do legal things. We have to fill out paperwork. We have to worry about the taxes that we're going to do, at least at the state level. But really, since the legal positioning of the business is in Iowa, which is the location of where I live.
What's your address?
Iowa City. So yeah, it wouldn't be hard to change the address of our business and then just decide that we're going to be in a different state, as opposed to, say, a manufacturing company that has a factory and a building. And well, I thought about this. I was thinking about this with Disney World specifically, about how they had that whole tax fiasco about how they wanted to change how Disney World was taxed. And Disney is so big that it's basically like Disney versus Florida. And Disney could probably just afford to pay everybody that they needed to not up and move Disney World to keep taxes however they choose or want them to be. And that's very few businesses that are strong enough to say, oh, I'll just buy the power that I need in order to keep our business physically here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, wow, I hope we get that big, but it's also like, I hope we don't. Like, yeah, because that just means I have a level of responsibility in my personal life I don't even want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always been a much bigger fan of, well, just genuine, like, people say it, but I genuinely believe it. It's like, if you don't like it, leave. Like, seriously, if you don't like it, just leave. There's no big deal. Just leave then. So yeah, if for some reason Iowa doesn't like us anymore, or they want to do things that aren't cool, then we can leave. and it's not hard because we just got to change some papers.
Yeah. Well, and we're remote, so you could technically register your business anywhere you want, even if you don't even live in that address or have a postal code in that address.
Yeah, we could go put it in what, Bermuda?
We could, yeah.
Mauritius. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I've heard like Massachusetts, like one of the, or Delaware, one of those Northeast New England states was like one of the best ones to register your business in.
Oh, I was thinking other countries, so we just pay zero tax.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's an option.
Yeah. We're not those guys, at least not yet. Who knows?
All right. What are you thankful for again?
I only had one more actually, and that was, and this will get a little sappy, but mentors, just guys and girls, mostly guys, but I can think of one woman who was especially helpful in my career. But in general, I think it's kind of weird to get into this, but I'll just do a short version. And it's that growing up, my dad wasn't around, and that sounds bad to say it like that, but I don't mean like he was an absent father. He was in the military. He was on the boat 6 months at a time. Like for my early childhood, my dad just wasn't there because he was working. So I grew up in the church a lot, and I had a lot of really good guy parental figures there. But then as I got into business further too, a lot of
was Jesus one of them?
No, these are literal physical guys. Although I guess I could offend some people if they're I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say I thought you were gonna say no, these are real guys.
No. But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of guys who gave me a hand up instead of a handout. I showed that I was ambitious and motivated and wanted opportunities, and they gave me as much as I was willing to sacrifice and tackle. And so the harder I tried, the more I was given, as far as opportunities go and things to learn, that sort of stuff. And I can't even begin to list them because there's so many people that have helped me out in that way. But I'm thankful to all of them because I think I see it now because I'm back in school, right? And I talk to these college kids, and especially in Japanese, there's no self-confidence, none at all. And I'm just like, you guys, you're all smarter than me. So that's already off the table. But if you guys just had the confidence, if you had people who built you up, believed in you, and that you started to believe in yourself and that what you're capable of doing, which is nearly, for the most part, for most people, nearly anything, I think, if you really dedicate your life and your time to something, that I was given that. I was given that confidence. It took years to build up. And now I genuinely feel that if I wanted to, and I was willing to sacrifice the things that I needed to, there's very few things that I can't do. And it's thanks to those people who built me up like that, that I'm able to think and feel that way.
Would you consider yourself a mentor to anybody else?
No. No.
Not a single person. Not even that one like Japanese guy that you teach English.
Oh. No, I don't know. I don't really know what makes a mentor or what, because
how do you define your mentor then?
Okay. When I think of the guys that I considered mentors, they were guys that I could go to with questions about. Okay, I realize you're putting me in a trap here. That's,
I'm really not. I'm just asking because I'll tell you my motives here. I don't know what a mentor is. Like by definition, I know what a mentor is, but I don't know like who I would classify as one, or if I would classify myself as one. Because in my mind, a mentor is someone that you, like you said, like you go to for advice, and then they give it to you for free, and they want you to succeed.
I think, okay. Yeah. I think the layer on top of that is that they inspire you in some way. For me, that's how I feel. And that that's also why I want to go to them with questions and stuff, because otherwise it's maybe just a teacher or a tutor, an instructor, something like that. But I think there has to be some level of inspiration for a mentor. that makes you want to accomplish, at least in some area of your life, similar to things to what they have done.
Do you think someone has to agree to be your mentor? Because what if some really shitty person was like, yeah, Jake's my mentor, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've never really even been explicitly, I've never said it straightforward like that to some of them too, even though I would have considered them mentors.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of get on board with that. I consider Wayne he was like a mentor for me back at Mud, because I loved how he sold and I loved just how he communicated and everything. And I emulate that a lot in how I do things now. And I almost made him cry when he left. I knew it. I know he almost did, because I was in college at the time when he was leaving, and I said, hey, in college we had to do an exercise that was think about somebody that you found really that you want to emulate in business, that you really admire, and want to shape how you conduct business in the future. And I told him this as he was shaking my hand to leave for his last day, and I was like, and I just want to let you know that person that I wrote down was you.
Oh, wholesome.
And I think he was like, well, thanks. But he wasn't weird about it. He was very much like, I can't say anything because I'm gonna get choky. That's what he was gonna. I think that's what it seemed like. I don't even know if he remembers that, but I would also. I got another question related to mentors, because this is a topic that it's a weird one, because I usually hate on people who say they have a mentor.
Yeah.
Do you have to physically know the mentor? Because your definition said you have to be inspired by somebody. And what if this person can answer your questions without you having to ask them?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's better, right? I think, okay.
And then do you have the right to call them your mentor?
This is, okay, yeah, we're getting in trouble here, because it's such a buzzword now. The words that I think of that really make me, I don't know. When I hear mentor, I think of it in a very Iowa sense, which is just very down to earth, very personal. And I know, especially with digital marketing gurus, the combination of mentor and mastermind and that whole mess of crap, I want nothing to do with. I'm not interested. And there's all different ways that they call those things. There's clubs, and they're just ultimately networks that connect people and that sort of thing. But no, I think of, well, let's say in business, because that's what we're talking about. They were all people that I worked with at least relatively closely, in person, every day for a while, right? And so, because I think especially with mentorship and I say look up to in some way, I don't think you'll ever find somebody that you just want to emulate entirely. That's kind of weird. And if you do, you don't know them well enough, because I think once you got to know them better, you'd find things that maybe weren't, don't meet your heroes, that sort of thing.
Or you don't know you well enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be either.
Yeah. Put that in your mouth and chew it.
Yeah. So I think you just find the characteristics that you like about them, want to emulate, and maybe you can have multiple mentors in different facets of your life. And then you can become the kind of person that you want to be by taking things that you like from different people.
Yeah. So for the listener, I think what I was getting at was, which Cody, you touched on, which was, there are some cringy podcasts I listen to just for the sake of them being cringe. And it's usually these mastermind coaches, gurus, or whatever, who really don't have any clients. If they do, they have one, but they act like they're a consultant for multi-million-dollar businesses, and they're just not. I can just tell by the way they talk and what their podcast is. But I listen to those for, I don't know. I honestly don't know why. It's just entertainment for me. but one of them that I listen to, he talks about his mentors a lot. Millionaires and billionaires, billionaire mentors. I'm like, okay. So
there's not many of those. I can't imagine in the world.
I think there's less than 100 in the U.S.
I don't know.
Let's look it up. How
the US
many
has more, right?
In the U.S.? 720 in the U.S. So even then, like, I'm pretty sure they're not mentoring you. Second is the only and if they're a billionaire, like you probably know them or know who they're affiliated with. Name drop them, man. I would. The second is he talks about like Les Brown and Gary Vee and like Grant Cardone a lot, and then he like within like a sentence or two says my mentors. So I'm kind of putting two and two together, like he's considering Grant Cardone, Les Brown, and like Gary Vee as his mentors. And I just wholeheartedly disagree with that. I'm just like, no, they're people that you agree with philosophically and who teach you things, but they're not your mentors.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those things that I so much don't care that I've never really thought about it. Like, really, whatever makes you happy, if that works for you, if that's what you're into, I don't know. But it's the same thing. It just feels so impersonal to listen to those sorts of things because it's so far away from, I think the people who talk about those things so much are very far away from actually doing business, or at least the business that I want to be doing. So, which is arguably more impactful, I would say.
I usually associate mentors with MLMs.
Yeah, that's common in there too.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, my mentor. I'm like, so what scheme are you in? Yeah, but I mean, I guess in a sense I've had mentors. I've just never called them that. I don't know. I don't really talk about them either because I like to take credit for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I could call them something else. Just they're guys I looked up to and asked questions and were willing to help me out. Fits. And I didn't have to pay them for it.
Yeah. Not having to pay them, that's a big thing. If you're paying somebody as a coach, not a mentor.
And I do think that not paying them is important because when everybody has limited time, so if they're giving you their time for free, I think that's yet a further sign that you're actually intimately involved with them on a personal level, and that they can get to know you well enough to really understand your unique problems. Otherwise, if you're just talking to someone, you're paying them for an hour or something, how much can they actually get to know you to understand the unique parts? This is why I can't remember who wrote it. I'd have to dig it up. I'll see if I can find it. Maybe we can drop it in the notes. But it's this article about why advice sucks and advice is terrible. And it's because most advice is written from the perspective of the speaker, not thought about from the perspective of the person who needs to hear it. So that's already the first flaw, is that whatever the person needs to hear and whatever the person that's telling them is saying, there's probably a big disconnect because they're not thinking from the right perspective. The same thing with book recommendations. People recommend books that were impactful for them, not necessarily good books for the person that they're giving them to. So
that's like the whole thing of like why the digital marketing guru thing works, is because nobody wants to actually find and test things out for themselves. They just want to be told what to do and then just do it. And then it never works out. Digital marketing has the same problem as lawn care, and that it's very low entry, so that the bullshit level is high. So stupid people can join.
Yeah,
and start a business. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then it takes a while to see who's actually going to stick around, and that's good. I love low barrier to entry businesses and that sort of stuff. But yeah, undoubtedly there is a lot of crap that you also have to wade through. Anyway, you got more?
Yeah, I got one more. I'm really thankful for our partnerships. So not necessarily our clients. I mean, obviously everyone's going to be thankful for their clients, but I mean the actual strategic partnerships that we've made in the industry and for our business, to where we can either get referred work or, they have a podcast that we can jump on and, co-host it. and, you know, have leads funnel in from that. We've done a really good job, I think, of being a neutral party in a lot of marketing in general. We're really good at saying, hey, you don't need digital marketing right now. What you need is traditional marketing or like a postcard campaign or something for some of our clients. And we're really good at not soliciting, but also just actually building like true relationships with industry insiders and magazine publications and things like that. And I would say that's probably been one of the biggest, actually it has been the biggest growth factor for us, is publication success and you know, our partnerships, because we haven't spent any money on ads yet.
Yeah, that's the way to go, genuinely. And nobody likes to hear that, especially early on, because they're like, well, how do you do that? I'm like, you put your heart into it. Like, seriously, you don't, there's no half-assing it. You don't get to just pay people. You have to actually take the time to get to know them, build relationships, and I think especially because you have to find the right people then too. And those people might not be the most famous or most popular, but it's better in the long run I think you got to build a business that you're working with people you like. Otherwise, go get a job.
Yeah. Well, you take steps. It's like rungs, right? Like, when I first started, I kind of built a partnership up with Kevin Hansen of Lawn Care Juggernaut, and now he's got over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he didn't. He had like 10 subscribers when we started talking. So he's kind of climbed that ladder. But then I've made other relationships, and now I feel like we're this mid tier where we're a partner with the $1 Million Landscaper and his academy. And you know what's next is I don't know, the Green Executive podcast or Turf Radio or something like that. And it's just like we just keep stepping up, but also like not losing contact with partners we've made in the past. You know, keeping them in good faith. Is that the word? Good in
good faith, good standing.
In good standing. That's what I like better. And you know, because eventually, you know, we're doing marketing for our landscaping partner that has the academy, and if they grow, we'll grow, because it's a direct referral right there. So you know, when we do, they pay us to do their marketing, which also kind of funnel or fuels our growth at the same time. So some of those hacks, I guess somebody who asked me, and we'll cover this in another episode, but I guess somebody who asked me in one of the SEO groups that I'm in on Facebook, is blogging worth it to get clients? And I think I said no.
What?
Yeah.
What are you saying? What are you talking about? What a take. Hot take.
So I'll touch on it, but we'll cover it in another episode.
Okay. That's spicy.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a flat no. It was, yes, it does. But when you first start out, it's not where you should focus your efforts on. And I was like, we have an episode on this and we covered it, which we did. And my blogs didn't get any clients. I want to make that clear. When we first started, they didn't. What got us clients was engaging on forums, building relationships, and answering questions. And that was it. The blogs helped us rank later. So if you need clients fast when you first start, blogging isn't going to help you get those right away. And you know, you have to take more of a one-to-one approach, and that's just the way it is.
That makes sense.
But that's all I had.
Yep. That's
Sweet.
It. We're thankful for nothing else. Those are the only things.
Yeah. Those are the only things that I think you, the listener, will care about.
Yep.
So, all right,
I will try to find that article though.
The
see if we can
how
drop it.
Most bad advice is bad.
Yeah, because it's an interesting read. I'll try to look it up right now. I'll send you the link.
Cool.
But anyway.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to our Thanksgiving special. We'll resume the regular scheduled programming afterwards.
Thank you for listening. See ya.
Bye.